everybody, welcome to Task Force Geek. I am your host, or AKA Dirk Stuntman, Beth Freely. Dirk is under the weather tonight, so he's not going to be joining us. We got a lively little show going on, and we've got Walt Thompson with us, and Shawn's with us. And let's give Miss Kathryn Pryde a warm TFG welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the insanity that is Task Force Geek.
I'm excited to be here.
Good, we're glad. Yeah, so let's jump right into it tonight. Where you guys want to start? Let's start with Moon Knight. There's some big hype going on around with Moon Knight. Calm down over there. I see you. One of the next Marvel movies that's about to come out, and apparently Marvel has dropped us a costume look. Question is it going to be Oscar Isaac's real costume, or is this just a teaser? Let's take a look at what we got here. So this is the costume. Let's see if we can make this a little bigger. Let's see here. No, let's rotate. There we go. And it's not making it any bigger. Here we go. So this is the costume that we're looking at. And I don't know. What you thinking, guys?
My initial reaction was it's very Hollywood. I don't understand their fascination with weird ass textures. You know, it can't just be a color. It can't just be something simple. No, let's make it as rough and as ornate as humanly possible when it's a guy wearing a cloak with a crescent moon on his chest. I mean, it's like, relax, people, calm down. Could this be real? Absolutely. It has a very Spawn feel to it to me.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
Now, could it be somebody took a mentioning Spawn? Could they have taken a Spawn and photo and thrown it in Photoshop and played with it? Sure, but I don't know. I think this is real. I think this could be it, and I'm looking forward to it. Bring it on. Let's do this.
I'm hoping that the costume's going to have just a little more detail, and this really is just a blurry shot too, because
this looks like it's a screen grab from a scene or something.
Yeah, because you're missing a lot of the details, like the details on his cowl there. I mean, you should be able to see the crescent moon a lot better on the cowl. Same with on the chest and everything.
Yeah, it'll be a lot sharper, I'm sure, and a lot prettier.
I got a feeling the cape's going to be CG'd.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think so along the whole fascination with textures, I also think there's a possibility that they're really leaning heavily into the Egyptian part of the mythos. So it might be like indicative of mummy wraps and that kind of thing. And I could definitely see that being the direction they're taking.
Right.
Especially since so far, even the like goofier characters that we've seen Marvel adapt for the MCU, they try to ground them in some way, shape, or form. And that definitely seems like a way that they're trying to ground Moon Knight, from making him look a little less like, you know, monochromatic white, literal white
and spandex,
yeah.
or classic key.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I do not know a lot about Moon Knight, so other than the Egyptian mythos. So somebody fill me in a little bit more on what's going on with Moon Knight and who this character is and how he fits.
It depends on where in the continuity you're going.
Should not be the one.
Yeah. So. Okay, this is partially my Oscar Isaac fandom talking. This is also partially just that I do like Moon Knight. So part of it is that depending on where you are in the continuity, at some point he got his powers from an amulet from a dark Egyptian god, and then they've backed that out and they've brought it back and they've backed it out again. He has basically dissociative disorder, so he's got multiple personalities. So, but he's kind of like, what if Bruce Wayne were crazy and multiple personalities, and also maybe sometimes was an Egyptian god. Sometimes that's that's like pretty much the gist of what we know of Moon Knight, because it's his origin and his continuity has changed so many times.
Okay, so that's a good start at least. Yeah, okay.
And currently in the comics, they're pushing him really hard, and it's turning out to be that he could be probably the baddest of badasses currently going right now in the Marvel Comics continuity.
So Ronnie says hello to everybody and hello to Kat.
Hello, Ronnie.
Hello.
Just to give you an idea, Kat, Ronnie is our resident Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, big Lord of the Rings fan. You thought
You're
I was
friends,
a geek.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you thought I was a geek. He takes the cake. He outdoes me.
Fantastic.
And then Steve says hello. Hey, Steve.
What's up, Steve?
How you doing? Oh, and hey, Michael wants Shawn to model his fashion. What you got here going on, Shawn? What you got going on? Let's see this.
We got our classic. Movie flashes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's the fourth minute of the apocalypse.
Pretty much. The best 4 minute of the apocalypse. I go with that. I can go.
My
with that.
faves.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with those 4. And spoopy season is coming along anyway, so.
Halloween Kills. Sorry.
Halloween is awesome.
Yeah.
Halloween is awesome. So what else do we know about Moon Knight? Anything else other than we're all excited for it?
I'm just waiting on a trailer.
Yeah, same here. Waiting on a trailer.
Yeah, they need to hurry up and drop that trailer because I'm definitely excited about it. So
Yeah, I've seen a few action set pieces, like doing stunt work on the sets and stuff. People, watching from afar. But other than that, not much.
Steve brings up a good point. Spooky season equals monster cereals. Good times. He's pretty much waiting for blueberries. I would have to take a guess. Or
Count Chocula, Blueberry, and what's the other one?
Oh, what was the pink one?
Frankenberry.
Frankenberry.
Yeah. Frankenberry.
There's actually a fourth one with the wolf.
Well, werewolf. I think that was like a cinnamon, if I remember right.
Yeah.
It doesn't even sound tasty.
I couldn't eat Count Chocula. That stuff was disgusting to me.
Word.
My favorite was the blueberries.
Frankenberry. Yeah.
I'd have like 2 or 3 out of it, and then I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't want any more.
I just want the box.
Yeah, because the box is always cool. Box is always cool. So since we know Oscar Isaac is playing Moon Knight, who's psyched for Dune?
I think we're all psyched for Dune.
Yeah,
everybody, me.
I think we're all a little psyched for Dune.
I know all of us here have probably seen the original Dune, which was not the best version, but for the time was.
It was a version.
Was.
As many liberties as they took with that movie, it still followed the story, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a good job for what they had. I still would have loved to have seen Jodorowsky's. Unfortunately, it would have cost more than the national debt to film and produce, but
it would have been
amazing.
Yeah.
And it also probably would have killed the entire sci-fi genre, but I digress. If you've ever seen his documentary about Dune, if you haven't seen the documentary, go out and do it. That is an amazing. I just went out and bought it on Blu-ray after I saw it. It was fantastic. It was. If it does not inspire you to put pencil to paper, to start writing, if Jodorowsky cannot impact you in that way, to be creative after watching that documentary, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, no, agreed.
You have no soul.
You have no soul.
I mean, that documentary itself, if you're ever low, you can't think of anything, just throw that in, dude. Things will be shooting out of your head immediately. Love that. I love that documentary. It's really good.
And I like what Dirk has to say about it. David Lynch is doing science fiction. It has its own charms, which it did. It
Yeah.
did. And he also brings up a good point that the costumes and art design were spectacular.
Mhm.
For the time,
They
yes.
were for the time. Yeah. I will never forget those Sting walking into that scene with the bright red hair that looks like he, stuck his finger in a light socket for it. So that for some reason, that is the one scene that sticks in my head.
Is
From
it-
the original.
Is it not? Is it not because of the underwear with fish wings on it? And
Oh god, yeah, that too. Oh Lord.
I had blocked that out of my memory.
I wanted
Right.
to block it out of my memory. Thanks, Shawn. Now I'm never going to get rid of that image.
That was literally blocked. I am not lying. That was literally blocked out of my memory until you mentioned that.
I remember
Thanks.
they
Thanks,
showing that
Shawn.
on the. I remember them showing that on the trailers, and I kept thinking,
Again,
"What?"
What is this?
blocked out
What
of my
is this?
memory.
It was the weirdest damn thing I'd ever seen.
No, it's like Dirk said. It's weird. It was weird. It was weird. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Dirk, we need to have a long conversation about your underwear with fish wings, man. Long conversation.
You really want
no.
a long conversation? That
No,
really
we
seems
don't.
like maybe like a short one.
That's Dirk. That's Dirk. Just
I
plain
have
simple, that's
suggested on many occasions he needs psychological evaluation and assistance.
This is what happens when you're not here, Dirk.
The thing is, I say this stuff to his face. I'm not hiding anything. I mean, I've said it before. I'm a dick. I mean, I if I don't like something, I'll tell you. It may not come out real pleasant, but I'll tell you.
He doesn't like your underwear with fish wings. Just so we're all clear, does not like that.
No
No
more
one
wearing
likes
the
that.
underwear
No
with
one.
fish wings around the house, Dirk.
I'm okay with it, Dirk, just not in public. and so that it's not anywhere in front of me or anything like that.
Steve's
No,
right.
I'm just teasing you.
Steve's right. The new version has a low bar to surpass. You are very right about that.
But
I've got to disagree though to a point. I mean, if you look at Denis Villeneuve's catalog, he makes amazing movies. So this has to be an amazing movie just because of who he is. Visually, I mean, everything that I've seen so far just makes me all kinds of tingly inside and rock and roll. But
okay, with Oscar Isaacs aside, how are we feeling about the cast on this?
I'm really stoked for the cast. Although it's so weird seeing Timothée Chalamet playing Paul because he's so young. And like I remember watching the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune and Children of Dune, and like Paul was still like way older than me, so it's a little weird. But I'm glad because it really kind of feels like this is going to be a cast that feels as diverse as Arrakis should feel, and I think that's really cool. Like I'm really stoked to see Zendaya take on playing Chani, and to see what they've done with a lot of the characters that traditionally have always been cast by kind of like your same standard boilerplate Hollywood template people, and it's really cool because I've seen a lot of like unorthodox casting, and I really like it.
So here's something interesting about Paul Atreides' character in the first place. In the book, when Frank Herbert wrote the book, Paul was originally 15 years old when the Emperor asked them to leave Caladan and go to Arrakis. So I think Timothée Chalamet's casting, with him, as Kat put it, being wee. I love that. He's wee. I think he's going to bring about possibly that that youngness that we were kind of missing with Kyle MacLachlan in the 80s and 90s version.
Yeah,
and I have to agree. The diversity of the cast, from Stilgar to Paul to Zendaya, all of them, it really does expand the. How do I want to put this? without sounding like a complete ass.
Come on,
Well,
Shawn, you can do it.
Just by saying that, you've eliminated that possibility. So
Everybody, because it was on just not too long ago, and I caught just a brief moment. Everybody in that movie is exceptionally pale.
Yes.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
Yes.
And one of my biggest complaints about, for example, one of the most recent Mass Effect games was that I go to an entirely new universe and there's 2 species.
Yeah.
Here we are in this epic, grand, amazing world of Dune, and there's one race? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Give me something. Give me Cousin It, or give me something, man. Come on. Put somebody in a tanning booth. Something. Come on. Everybody was so damn pale in that movie. It bothered me to no end.
Especially considering that the movie takes place on a desert planet where you'd think they would at least be lobster red or tan.
Right, and Stilgar was probably as pale as I was. And it's like, dude, the sun is out all the time. Even I would tan. Some.
Steve brings up the point that Downton Abbey had it beat for pale people. Okay, but yeah, I liked Dirk's shot right back to him. Stephen Dirk should be on Downton Abbey. Yes, the sun does shine in England.
Does it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
it does.
Yeah, Kat and I can attest to the sun does shine in England. So
Yes, and sometimes it shines while you can see it raining about 3 feet that way. Same time.
I went to Washington State in the SeaTac area, and I saw the sun. I was there for 8 days, and I saw the sun literally for about 3 hours total in those 8 days. A lot of rain, a lot of snow, a lot of flooding. That was it. Oh, look, there's this. Oh, the sun is gone. I mean, that's Seattle. I can just imagine what England looks like.
This is why they film a lot of British TV shows or shows that are supposed to take place in Britain in Seattle, because the weather's real close. The only problem, less flooding in England, a lot more downhill water running. Pretty sure it just starts in Scotland and just flows to the English Channel. So, you know.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Everybody say hi to Shawn's mom.
Hi, Shazwan.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Dirk and Steve. No. You guys, no.
They're just going for it. They're prepping it. They're
Downton Abbey is. They do not need you guys. They are not ready for you guys. They wouldn't know what to do with you guys. Okay. So, no. Okay. No.
I can honestly say I've never watched it. I don't know.
I've never watched it either.
I've got too much testosterone in me.
Seriously, guys. Steve and Dirk would be so lost in the world of Downton Abbey.
I don't know. Dirk's hands are really, really soft.
Dirk says that they do need them, and he's wearing his fish wing underwear. All right, we're moving away from the fish wing underwear. Oh my Lord, apparently not.
Next.
Oh, next. So, who here has managed to watch What If?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You were so full of it.
I listened to it while my wife was watching it over there. So like I heard it all and I would like peek over, but like I was bad this week, sorry.
Okay, hold on.
It had Peggy Carter, and we know you know me, Beth. I have complicated feelings about Peggy Carter.
Yes, so do
Don't you
I.
have a
Yes.
show about this?
Yes, we do. We do.
Yeah.
Walt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was pulling your leg. I mean,
Oh.
I've watched the episode like 6 times. So.
Where is he? Oh, there. We do.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thursdays, yes.
that really gave me a little.
Calm down, Shawn. Calm down. Okay.
It's all right, Shawn. It's all right.
Just so you guys know.
It's just a joke. It's a joke, man. A joke.
Easy, Shawn. Deep breath in. Deep breath.
I'm sitting here thinking, did I not hear you guys talking about it the other day?
He's a little verklempt.
I vaguely remember that happening.
Shawn's having an existential crisis over here.
Shawn is having.
He's questioning everything right now.
I mean, really, it's been like.
He's the
I know
natural meme.
I know I haven't been here in a couple of weeks, but
Yeah, we did a show about it.
Dude.
We did a show about it on Thursday.
I kept thinking, I didn't dream that, did I? I could have. All right, I'm back. Everything's fine.
Are you
Life
sure?
is good.
Are you here? Are you grounded?
I am here.
You're here. Okay. We don't need to send Dirk to check on you. Okay.
No.
Okay. Just making sure, man. Just making sure. So back to Downton Abbey because the guys are still going.
Oh no.
They're still going at Downton Abbey.
They are. Ronnie loves, says Downton Abbey rocks, and he's an electrician. I'm not sure what the correlation there is, Ronnie. You might have to explain that to us later.
I think it was going back to the testosterone.
Yeah, it's
okay, yes,
I think.
Oh, okay.
Of course, Steve's got a point. He's watched Monty Python. He's fully prepared.
'Tis but a scratch.
Just but a scratch. Please do not get Kat and I started on Monty Python because we could go for the entire 2 hours of this show. Thank you.
I'll be good. I'll try to be good.
I won't be. Steve also says, what if Steve and Dirk hit up the Abbey?
No.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to move on and talk about the Shuma-Gorath, which apparently Walt is channeling tonight.
Sweet. Calamari for all.
Yeah.
So if you did get a chance to watch What If and or spoiler alert on Thursday, you would have met this guy, the Shuma-Gorath. Or as Bucky put in the episode, who ordered the calamari? So the question is, are we looking at the next big baddie for the MCU or possibly a potential baddie or what do we
Word
got going
is
on?
Word is that Shuma-Gorath is the baddie for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Because Shuma-Gorath is a multiversal demon of some sort. So
Okay.
I think that's the tie-in.
So we're getting the calamari. All right.
That's the word. So because Scarlet Witch can't be the heavy, the big bad for that movie. So
she has to have her arc. She has to become the hero again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So something's got to be influencing her or some sort of influence. And where it is it's Shuma-Gorath.
And that's one of its powers?
I don't know if that's one of its powers, but
I know nothing about this critter.
I don't know a lot about it either.
I don't know a lot about Shuma-Gorath. I've seen a few Doctor Strange issues way back in the day that had Shuma-Gorath in it, and I just never even thought about it until I saw the name pop up on the internet, and I'm like, I know that name. But from what I've learned over the past few days is it's a multiversal creature. So he has his hands in everything in all the different universes.
Tentacles.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I've got it. It's not Shuma-Gorath. It's Mephisto pretending to be Shuma-Gorath.
No.
No.
Everybody's always about Mephisto. Yeah.
No, it was Agatha. It was Agatha all along.
Yeah.
All along.
It was Agatha all along.
I'm gonna say right now, and you can call me on it at any time because I'm usually wrong. We're never gonna get Mephisto.
No.
Hey,
we're
Mom.
Probably not. Hey, Mom.
Yeah, I
Not
feel
yet.
like that's probably a pretty fair assumption at this point. Or if we do, we're not going to be expecting it because it'll pop out of some Marvel property that we're not expecting it from.
Right.
It is he is too much related to the devil, and Disney does not want to have the devil. Fantasia was a one-off. I don't think they're going back to that well.
You ask me, it's too obvious for Marvel. Marvel likes to throw us curves. And if everybody is thinking Mephisto, we're not going to get Mephisto. I mean, it's the same thing that happened in Iron Man 3 when everybody thought the Mandarin was going to be there, and we were
just hear Feige right now. Okay, I'm planning on doing Mephisto. Everybody's talking about Mephisto. Shit. Okay.
Right.
Let's
Yep.
let's change that then. Damn, I was really wanting to put a guy in red spandex and
the triumvirate of 3 Fs are going. We can't use Mephisto ever.
Yeah.
I don't see it ever happening.
Although they can replace him with him from the Powerpuff Girls, and I'd be fine.
There you go. Yeah. We're that shattering of expectations. I love it.
I was so looking forward to the live
action of him.
I
want to
who
see
they were going to get.
It was going to be good.
I want to see that so bad. Whoever they get to play a live action version of him.
I thought for sure they would cast Sheldon, and everything would have been marvelous.
I would try out for that part. I would try out for that part just because I think that character is so freaking funny.
Oh, come on. He's
like, oh, wow. I'm going to kill them.
Not to mention, would they CGI the crab claws?
Yes.
Or would they give him...
Or no, let's give him some really cheesy fake claws.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Bucky sleeve. It's going to be like, you got to WD-40
really cheesy fake.
And then would he wear the Bondism shoes?
Yes.
And
the high heels, the super high heels.
I would look.
And the tutu.
What's his name? Walt, Jim Parsons.
You're on your way to breaking Shawn over here. It
would have been marvelous.
I
would love to have seen.
Awesome. I mean, a live action Mojo Jojo and a live action him. Those are the 2 main characters I was looking forward to seeing in a live action Powerpuff Girls show.
Nope, I'm right there.
And there's that tangent we always hit. So,
Unfortunately.
That's okay. Let's just keep, we can hit the tangent. It's fine. It was a loose schedule tonight anyway.
That's how we like them.
So I don't know if you guys have been looking at the comments. A few of these I'm not putting up because they're not safe for all audiences.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate Sherry's comment here about, is it just me or is Dirk talking more in the comments than he usually does in the show?
Oh no, he's a long-winded bastard. You can't. And you get him.
You really feel, Shawn?
You get him bouncing off of Scott. Oh Jesus! You could just. You guys have a party. Go.
Wait a minute. That sounds suspiciously like you and me on Thursdays, Walt.
Oh hey.
Dirk has a lot he needs to get off his chest. He has a lot of thoughts that need to come out. He needs to relay. Unfortunately, sometimes that takes a lot of words. A lot of words. It's just who he is. It's fun.
It's cool. It's all cool.
Me?
Uh-oh.
I have a tendency to...
I think we lost Beth.
There she is.
She's kind of frozen there. Oh.
Yeah, that was fun.
Hola, Aisha.
And we're back. I don't know what happened there, guys. Sorry about that.
We never left.
You guys never left. Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
We never left. Computer that burped. Yes. Anyway, on that note, if you guys haven't had the opportunity to watch on Thursdays at 3 o'clock, Dirk, Walt, and I do TFG spoiler alert. And currently we are talking about the aforementioned What If, which the first episode aired last Wednesday. And it was basically, what if Peggy Carter became Captain America instead of Steve Rogers? And we tear that show down to bits and pieces. Oh, man. Dirk, you were on it tonight. So Dirk just threw this one up. Shawn was affectionately called the Bard. You're gonna have to explain that one.
If you find the right subject, yeah, it's hard to get me to shut up, but I've got to be passionate about that subject. Otherwise my answers are like, But if it's something that I'm really interested in or whatever, oh yeah, it takes a team of Clydesdales to shut my ass up.
Oh yeah. So in other words, we need to get you on spoiler alert one Thursday. That ought to be fun. Steve, we enjoyed having you on spoiler alert. You were a blast to talk to and everything. And I'm glad for the conflicting opinions we had about Agent Carter, Captain Britannia, whatever you want to call her at this point.
I thought it was interesting that me and Steve enjoyed it, and you Mary Sued it.
I did. I Mary Sued it to death. And if you guys want to hear what this author had to say about Peggy Carter and that, go watch spoiler alert. Kat can attest to the fact that I hate Mary Sue characters. As a writer, they drive me insane, and I try very hard not to write Mary Sue's if I can avoid it. I'm not saying I haven't. We all have done a couple of Mary Sue's in our lifetime, but it's just one of those things. But yeah, I mean, if you ever have a topic or a TV show that you want to see covered on spoiler alert, please let us know. We would be more than happy to jump in at the beginning of the TV show in that first episode and start tearing it down and letting you know what we think about it. We made a couple of predictions when we did Loki that actually turned out to be on point, which was kind of fun for all of us, but yet at the same time, there were a couple that weren't. So definitely let us know if there's a TV show or man, even if it's a one-off movie or something that you'd love to see, Dirk, Walt, and I just tear apart, drop us a note on the chat boards and just let us know, and if you want to be on spoiler alert on a Thursday afternoon, let us know too, man. We would love to have you. More people to yap about what's going on with these TV shows and movies, the better, especially if you get controversial with them like I did. Yeah. So you guys probably noticed we have a guest with us today. I would like to introduce you to Miss Kathryn Pryde. Kathryn Pryde has been a voiceover artist and director and writer with Pendant Productions since 2005. And in addition to lending her voice to a number of Pendant shows, as well as various radio dramas and fan dubs around the internet, Kat is the co-creator of Seminar, the director of Dreamnasium, staff writer for The Kingery, and of course, I'm very proud of this because, secret, this is my niece. She's the creator, writer, and director of Genesis Avalon. And she is preparing the much anticipated sequel, Genesis Avalon Patriot, which is launching in December of this year on Pendant Audio. Kat, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's really cool.
Oh, awesome. It's perfect. Ishelle, thank you. I appreciate that you love the t-shirt. So tell us about what you've got going on with Pendant Audio.
Oh my gosh. Well, as my bio suggested, I have a lot that I do with Pendant Productions. I've been with the group since 2005 when they started. I was originally just an actor who was lending her voice to certain characters. And then I wound up co-creating the show Seminar with our founder, Tilly Bridges. And that is basically a take on Twilight Zone, where we accept user submitted or publicly submitted scripts for short stories, and we produce them. So if you've ever wanted to write down an idea and get it kind of produced and hear what it would sound like, and it's a short story, that's where you can go. And we fully cast. It's a complete casted audio production. And I wrote the sort of the wraparound segments for those for that show for the first 30 episodes, stepped away and had a couple of other writers come in, and then came back to write another arc over the last 30 episodes again. And now I am working on Genesis Avalon Patriot. So Genesis Avalon is Pendant's very own superhero. So there's a 50 episode completed series on pendantaudio.com. It's completely free to listen to. It's in fantastic quality, if I do say so myself. It
pitch it.
It follows a woman who finds out that she is destined to take on the mantle of the last priestess of the Celtic gods, and that her destiny is to protect the Isle of Avalon and to restore balance between mortals and the demonic underworld. And there's tons of mythology. It crosses Celtic mythology, Egyptian mythology, and we're now getting into more interesting cross sections into deism and some of the other sort of other grand concepts around spirituality versus religion. The first show ran from 2010 to 2014, and then I took a nice long break to work on some other things. And while I was doing that, I had already set in the pieces for Patriot. And with kind of the way that the last 4 years have been, I wound up having the inspiration to go back to it and to start the new show. And in the sequel, a number of events have occurred in the United States since the first public superhero showed up and did all of the things in the original show. And the fallout of the knowledge that superheroes are real has started to bring other superheroes to the forefront. And they're just kind of popping up in a very guerrilla fashion. One of those is the Patriot. And he is meant to be the consummate patriot. And he's running around messing with fascists. It's great. But without giving too much away, it's definitely a sequel to the original show. But we're trying to write it in a way that if you've never listened to Avalon, you can start at Patriot and jump right in, and then you can go back and listen to the first show when you have a chance. I'm really excited. I have a lot of fantastic cast members, many of whom are now professional voiceover artists that have actually agreed to come back just for this. So pretty excited for that. I'm very, very excited for the show in general. And I haven't been able to sit in the director's chair for a while, so I'm very excited to get to bring it all together and present it to the audience. So that is coming in December, and I've already sent the first script out to my cast, and I get lines back now, and I'm putting it all together. So it's pretty exciting.
So what got you started doing this?
So I was a massive anime fan, as many, many kids my age were. I like cut my teeth on Toonami and then moved my way through, all sorts of other anime like Fushigi Yugi and Saris and a couple others. And my first summer in college, I really wanted to do fan dubs. Thanks, Chris. The person on the screen right now is my co-creator and your co-writer, Chris, the Geek Queen there. Anyway,
you might want to clarify this because I don't think there was 1,500 episodes.
No, 50. Sorry about that. I'm sure there's a lot across all of Pendant Productions. I don't think it's 1,500, but we easily have somewhere around 1,000 hours of audio across all of the different shows, not just obviously the one I worked on, but there's tons. So I got into anime, and back in 2005, I was interested in things like fan dubs because I had started to find them online, and I wondered if that was something I could do. And it turns out you could audition to be in a fan dub, and I auditioned and got to play Sailor Jupiter. for several Sailor Moon, Sailor Stars fan dubs. And then from there, the same group where I got my first auditions booked also did a lot of radio drama. And then from I listened to an adaptation of Batman No Man's Land that someone was doing, got really into it, and came up with my own idea for a show. And
which one was that?
The idea for a show?
Yeah.
Genesis Avalon. That
Okay,
popped out,
Avalon.
and I've actually told the lead actress who plays Genesis Avalon, the voice actress Laura Post. This was back when she was also doing her own adapted audio dramas. It was her Batman No Man's Land audio drama that I loved. And I contacted her and was like, I would love for you to audition for the main character of this idea I have. Would you be interested? And she was very gracious and went ahead and took the time to audition for me. And I kind of built the show out of Laura's voice. Laura was my inspiration for Avalon, and a lot of the show is because she was so passionate about the character. And so I was producing Avalon on my own at first, and then at the same time I had gotten in with Pendant as an actor, and then brought the show over for Pendant to help me produce. So that's when I got in with Pendant Audio, and I have been with them ever since. I absolutely love working with them.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Avalon came out of a story that you originally wrote as a teenager, right?
Yes, it is part of a sort of like the shared universe of stories I've been running in my head since I was a kid. Because as you might have mentioned, Beth, you are my aunt. So I've got the writer who's been mentoring me my entire life. Yeah. And so you always inspired me to write when I was younger. And so when I was,
I appreciate that.
It's true. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I came up with a concept for a bunch of demon fighters and warriors, and that premise is still running. It's taken a very different shape now. I'm working on the manuscript for that again, and I've significantly changed it since when I was a teenager, but it takes place in the same world as Genesis Avalon. So having that story that I wrote as a teenager, this just seemed like a great extension of that universe. And Avalon really took a life of its own. It's really its own thing now. I thank Avalon for a lot of the storytelling lessons that I've learned as both a writer and a director, and as an actor. I've really taken a lot of lessons from the folks that have worked on that show to heart. So yeah, it's been a big chunk of my life. I'm really glad to be going back to it.
Shawn, do you want to show what you popped up over there?
Sure.
You want to share your screen?
Is it not shared?
Well, here, no, now I can share it. There we go. So Shawn went ahead and went out onto Pendant Audio and pulled up some of the information. As you can see, Genesis Avalon is right there. How long are each episode?
So it depends on the show. For Genesis Avalon, we average around 25 to 35 minutes per an episode. I've got a couple that like really went long, like 45 minutes, but you know, the goal is kind of hopefully within a commute. And then we also have other shows that are a lot shorter. Seminar on average tends to run about 30 minutes as well, but it's got 2 different short stories in it. So you're always guaranteed to hear something different. And our show, The Kingery, typically runs around 20 minutes per episode. For the most part, we try to keep it to 20 to 30 minutes per episode. So you're not getting too sucked into things that you can't do anything else, but you have enough time to get to a satisfying conclusion.
So you're the director of Dreamnasium. What exactly is that show?
So Dreamnasium is an amazing project by Jeff Thorne. He's one of the writers who worked on The Librarians. He's also worked on many other things, of which I cannot remember right now. I'm so sorry, Jeff. You know I love you.
The TV show Librarians?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yes. He has written several books, and he also wrote 2 different compilations of short stories, but they're both titled Dreamnasium. And so he approached Pendant, as he's also worked on the show Phantom Canyon with us, and asked us to produce a number of adaptations for some of those short stories. So we had 4 short stories that we adapted for the Dreamnasium audio drama, and I directed 2 of them, and I also was an actor in 2 of them. So very exciting, very cool. They're all very different, but you can tell they definitely have the same writer and that it's the same kind of universe, because there's things that kind of, slip through each of these not interconnected short stories. So very cool. One of them is about a superhero. One of them is about a space vampire. I'm not making that up. They're amazing, and we were very, very lucky that Jeff chose us to work with, because his work is amazing, and I absolutely loved every second of getting to adapt that.
So what goes on in the background with these, as compared to just running a regular podcast? What really goes into producing these radio dramas?
So this is very different from like your kind of like streaming podcast like this. For us, there is an entire script process where we go through and like in Avalon's case, we wrote an entire season of scripts before we even brought it to cast. And then when we say that we're bringing it to cast, we're literally casting actors. We're accepting auditions, and they are home actors. So they have their own studio, and they are recording lines for us and then sending that to our central repository. And then a director, so like myself or someone else, then has to take all of those lines and individually cut them in together on some sort of audio software. So I use Adobe Audition. A lot of folks use Pro Tools. And it's pretty much a month-long process to take what is essentially like somewhere around 150, 200 lines across maybe 20 or 30 actors that you've received. And then you have to clean them, make sure they all sound like they're coming from the same room and same location. And then you're adding in full sound effects, full scoring of royalty-free music or music that has been actually composed for some of the shows in some cases. And then we turn that in, and that goes into a production schedule. Pendant is run very much like a business that has a production schedule. So we plan everything out with significant buffer zones, but it's a very involved process. It's much more like editing your own YouTube show or editing something that's going to be scripted audio, as opposed to something like a regular podcast where you have a streaming platform and it's, you have some outro and some intro, but for the most part, it's all live. This is a very, very crafted process.
Awesome. Ishelle made the comment that she's incredibly impressed with your career and that it's a fun experience.
Thank you. It is a lot of fun and it's very rewarding. It is also very exhausting.
Dirk wants to know, what do you do if you want to play a character?
If you would like to play a character, Pendant Audio is always holding auditions. So if you want to check out our website, you can go to pendantaudio.com/auditions, or you can click on the auditions tab there on the website. And we give you instructions on how to prepare an audition, what we're looking for in terms of the sound settings. And for the most part, we're going to ask you to read a couple of lines and you just give us your best reads. You can take the characters different directions. And we will get back to you whether or not you've been cast. We'll let you know. And that's how you can kind of get in. And from there, keep auditioning. And if you don't get cast the first time, keep auditioning. Because the cool thing about voice acting is that you can be anybody and you can pretty much play anything. So there's always opportunities. And Pendant's a great place to start, I always say, because we try to hold people's hands. We want to make sure that you get in and you enjoy the experience. So if you don't have a lot of experience with this, or even if you're just trying and you're just trying to figure out what to do, we even tell you, hey, here's the microphone we recommend you start with. Here's kind of the setting we recommend you start with if you've never done this before. So you can join us there, or you can also check us out on our social media, because our Twitter @Pendant Audio or @Pendant Web, both of those, we also post up all of our casting calls there.
So what else can you share with, people who are interested in starting out besides what you just what you said?
So if you are interested in voice acting, I highly recommend that you don't just, go to Pendant, but you can. There's also several communities online. There are several different Facebook groups you can join about voice acting or audio drama and audio auditions. So you can get started there. Talk to people, make friends, get to know people. I know networking is always like the thing that everybody doesn't want to have to do, but because I'm an introvert, so it's hard for me sometimes. But that's really your best way to get in, is to start getting to know people and audition. if you want to be an actor, because that's the way you get better. That's the way that you try a million things. Voice acting really is kind of throwing spaghetti to a wall and seeing what sticks. If you're interested in directing, I highly recommend Pendant Audio again, because we also do, when we do have new shows, sometimes we are offering directors classes, or we also offer opportunities for people to assistant direct and to learn the ropes. And you can become familiar with those tools. There are also obviously the college route. You could go for an audio engineering degree. That is a thing that exists, and it's really awesome. You'll learn a lot more technical stuff than I did. I'm pretty much self-taught. And if you're a writer who's interested in just hearing your work, submit to seminar, please. We're always looking for scripts. We post up notices that we're looking for scripts just about every month. And if it's about a 15-minute to 10-minute short story, you can hear it, and we'll cast it for you, and we will produce it, and you'll get to hear the final product. And there's a good chance you'll be allowed to come on for the commentary that is, also released with the episode, so that people can hear what you were thinking when you were working on it. But yeah, the best thing to do is to jump in with a volunteer organization like Pendant, because a lot of us have been doing this for a long time, and we're always interested in helping others. And then there's also a larger community that can certainly help and lead you in another direction as well. If you're looking at professional work, eventually you're going to want to look at things like getting a demo reel or taking classes. But that's definitely a conversation that you can have after you've gotten some roles under your belt working for a volunteer organization, so you feel comfortable with what you can do as an actor.
Awesome. So Dirk wants to know, what is the scoop on the Archer and Armstrong broadcast that was on the Pendant site?
So we did do Archer and Armstrong. That is an officially licensed adaptation. I don't know if we're doing more anytime soon, but I think we adapted the first, I feel like I want to say 12 episodes. I wasn't in that one. I've listened to it, and it's been a hot minute. But we have a really good relationship with that comic book company, or independent comics as well. So we work with them quite frequently, and we're also like affiliates sort of with a fan-based press. So Archer and Armstrong was a lot of fun. That is a complete adaptation of several issues. So you can go ahead and listen to that whenever you get a chance. It's really cool to do, or to listen to, I should say.
So I know that audio dramas are not the only a pond you've dipped your toes in when it comes to acting and other creative avenues. Why don't you tell us about some of the other things you've been doing?
Oh my gosh. So I mean, I'm a local actor and singer here in Orlando. I have a day job, but I volunteer with Central Florida Community Arts, which is the largest community choir in the U.S. It's completely volunteer, and we sing all sorts of music. And we were one of many groups that was affected by the everything going on of the last 18 months.
The Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
Yeah, exactly that. exactly that. Yeah. But yeah, I've been singing with them now for about 3 years, and I've also done some stage work with them. I was recently in a production of 12 Angry Jurors. And I'm actually singing in the summer choir that we're doing right now. So that's kind of like my other creative outlet, when I'm not writing, which is most of the time.
Which I can attest to. She is like me. We are constantly writing something.
Yep.
Something.
It might never see the light of day, but it's getting written right now, at least.
Hey, I said that about the Farscape fan fiction, and we saw where that went. And you'll appreciate this one. I actually shared the Highlander story with Steve.
She shared the Highlander story.
Yes!
She shared it.
That is the first fanfic of hers I ever read. The second one was Power Rangers, but the first one was Highlander.
Oh, there's a Power Rangers fanfic now?
Yeah, but we never finished it. I never finished it, and now that she brought it up, we need to go and revisit that, especially since Jason David Frank has a new movie coming out. I don't know if you knew about that. Yeah, but
I did not know about that.
It's called The White Dragon, which I'm really interested in seeing.
You don't need an excuse to see him. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
I've written one thing in my entire life, and all I did was recount the dream that I had. So.
Oh, I'm in for it now. Thanks, Kat, because now I got to go finish the Power Rangers.
Agreed.
You got to finish the Power Rangers.
Now I got to go
Power Rangers.
Especially since the Power Rangers is a very popular comic book right now.
Yeah.
You need to finish that one. I mean, Steve is probably going to get mad at me for saying this, but who thinks about the Highlander that much anymore? Other than us Highlander fans.
I want the new adaptation so badly. I know it's in development hell right now, and I'm like, please, yes, please, can we do it? Can we do it right now? I will help pay money. Come on,
there's very few of us out here that know what it is, and those few of us are right here watching this show.
Pretty much. Oh, yes, and I did promise Steve that I would work on rewriting it.
You have time. The movie's not even close to out yet. You're good. You have time.
I got Beyond the Steps of Stone. I got to finish first. Sorry, guys. That's a priority at this point.
I mean, like you writing, I'm pretty sure me and Shawn have some sort of sketch or drawing going on. And like me, I've got about 3 different projects going on right now that I've got to take care of. So, yeah. I got to get my website done. I'm working on new T-shirt designs.
Walt, if you need help with the website, you know how to get a hold of me, man. I've told you.
Oh, before. My whole thing is just I'm just collecting all of the stuff that I want to put on it. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last big distraction I had before Patriot was a fanfic, and it's done now. So and I'm not going back to it anytime soon because that was a monster. I think it was like 370,000 words. It was insane. So I'm not writing anything like that for a long time.
Want to share what the fanfic was?
I can, only because I know that you're going to make me if I don't.
Nepotism at its best right now.
Right? There might be a gigantic novel. There might be like a gigantic 3 novels worth of fanfic out there on Archive of Our Own called Star Trek Age of Wonder, which is definitely a crossover between the Kelvinverse Star Trek universe and Wonder Woman. Kind of with a what if Steve Trevor and James Kirk looked exactly alike. It's awesome. It's schlocky, but it's great. It's a lot of Star Trek, lots of lore. I had a lot of fun with it.
I see Shawn squinting his eyes.
Yeah, I've read some of it.
Squinting his eyes.
Yes.
And I'm going to throw this out there. Just today, I saw an article about DC is doing a Justice League, which is a mashup of Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Yes. A Justice League mashup of Game of Thrones.
That'll be interesting.
Yes. And there are illustrations.
Kat, you've gained a new fan.
Yes.
Send me this.
I will have Beth send it along. Absolutely. It was a lot of fun to write. There's like I said, it's not just like super schlocky. There was also like tons of I adapted episodes of Star Trek and lore from Star Trek to make it work. Pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool.
I want to go back and reread the Star Trek X-Men comic book crossover.
Oh yes,
that was so good.
Yes.
Shawn, do we need to send you the link to this fan fiction too? Do I just need to post it up for everybody?
All of a sudden, my Archive of Our Own counts are gonna explode, and I'm
what's,
like,
what's your name on Archive of Our Own? Oh no, you're going to give it to me because read it, because fans of TFG.
I know I will. I will send you the link.
Yes.
I probably should just take the part out where I'm like, I definitely have more planned, and I should just get rid of that note so that nobody thinks that I'm going to write more right now because I've got a lot going on. I have this audio drama I'm working on. Something
along the lines to be continued in the future.
That's great. That's great.
I need a Star Trek 4. If they give me a Star Trek 4, I am sure I'll write the sequel.
In the meantime,
because it's more Kelvinverse that I need. It's not more Wonder Woman. As much as I love Gal Gadot.
Walt, go on. Come on, Walt. Come on.
No, I'm holding my breath for that Star Trek 4.
Pop those cheeks.
I've been reading the news about it, but until a trailer literally drops and I get to see Chris Pine's glorious face. I don't trust it.
No. When I hear that, it's in pre-production, like literal pre-production.
When I can't think of his name now. When what's his name passed, the one who played Chekhov.
Oh yeah,
Walter Koenig.
Yeah.
Anton Yelchin.
Oh, Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, Anton Yelchin, the actual younger.
Yeah.
The younger one.
He was not the only one that died. I can promise you that project is gone.
Yeah, I kind of think so too.
I think
Not to mention, as the actors, would you want to go back?
I think losing him and Leonard Nimoy, in such close proximity, might have put a bit of a damper on what's going on in the Kelvinverse.
Yeah, I mean, well, and Paramount's had a lot of shaking up about what they want to do with the Star Trek franchise, and so I think the newest scuttlebutt is that they are courting the cast back, and that the whole reason that Pine walked away the first time was because of the disagreement over how much he and Hemsworth should theoretically get paid if George Kirk were to show up. So I think there's still interest. I think the cast would still come back, but I do think that Chris Pine was being honest when he said if that's the last one they did, he was happy with what they had done. And I get that. I mean, they had their cast, and then they lost Anton and they lost Leonard in a very short amount of time, and
You know what? I'm really fine with Discovery and the new stuff that they're doing.
Discovery
Picard,
Picard,
and what's the other one that they have out there?
This is like
Lower Decks.
Lower Decks. Lower Decks. That's right. Lower Decks is one.
Well, no, there's Lower Decks, and then there's one with what's his name? The other captain.
Pike.
Pike.
Pike. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that one.
Strange New Worlds. That's it.
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds.
I'm actually really looking forward to Strange New World.
And Michelle Yeoh is getting her own Star Trek show coming up here soon too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Her and the actor who played Ash Tyler on Discovery, because it's supposed to be about that Black Ops kind of thing that they were
Section
doing.
31 or whatever it is.
Yeah. But Dirk is right. I agree with Dirk. I think we may wind up seeing a Tarantino Star Trek before we get another Kelvinverse, which would be interesting. I think it really would be interesting.
I would like to see Tarantino's Star Trek with the Kelvinverse cast, just not playing maybe not playing the Kelvinverse version of themselves.
Well, with that
I
being
want a Mirrorverse movie. I'm just not gonna lie, okay? I just want a Mirrorverse movie.
A Mirrorverse.
Steve brings up the great point. Bring a typical Star Trek MO. Go back in time, recast Chekhov. You're good. Let's do a mirror universe. Let's go play in that universe for a little bit. That appeals to my warped little sense of humor. Let's some bad guys that are.
Yeah.
But let's not call it Star Trek though when we do that.
Yeah. I'm trying to imagine what the standoff will be, because Tarantino always has to have some sort of Mexican standoff.
Right.
Will it be between a Romulan, a Klingon, and an Earthling, or will there be tribbles added?
Oh, tribbles are always added. Tribbles have to be in it. I mean, come on.
It would be a Vulcan, a human, a Romulan, a Klingon, and depending on how
those blue guys with the antennas, they never get any love.
Andorians.
They never get any love. We got to have some of those.
I'd love to see Andorians in the middle of it. That would be great.
Apparently, they're pretty badass. So
yeah,
they
are.
Yeah.
And I need Jeffrey Combs playing one of them.
That's because Jeffrey Combs needs to be in everything. So
I think he's played some version of some Star Trek alien in every iteration out there. I like Dirk's comment here. Tarantino's story is a follow-up to a piece of the action from the original series. That would be intense.
Yeah.
That would be intense and absolutely outrageous. Oh my gosh, that would be great. All right. Ooh, Star Trek. Yes.
I mean, I could talk Kelvinverse all day, but we're not gonna, because you'd be here all night and nobody has time for that.
I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. So, well, here, I'm gonna do a little shameless self-promoting here. Hey, I started the TFG book crew finally. Yay!
Yes.
Woo! The first episode launched on Friday of last week, and it's all about how to write a novel. And you can find it on our YouTube channel, on the Task Force Geek YouTube channel. It's a little half-hour ditty of, me giving you the basic idea of what to do if you want to write a novel.
You said
It's
Diddy.
Huh?
She said Diddy.
I said Diddy. I did. I said Diddy. Ditty. Okay, I didn't say duty or anything like that. But anyway, it's a
Bitty
little.
bitty ditty.
Look here, you guys.
Look, you said it, okay?
You're the one who said Diddy.
Yes. See here. See, Dirk's
Everybody loves
got
Diddy.
Dirk's got my back, man. Dirk has got my back. It is a seriously in-depth treatise on how to write a book. Hey, there's even a slideshow, okay? And thank you, Dirk. I appreciate that. Yes, it should have 1 million views. But once a week, I'm going to throw up a podcast. I will have guests like Kathryn Pryde on there talking about their writing, talking about their their different
You like me enough to keep me around.
projects. Yes, I like you enough to keep you around. You're the first person I asked to be on that show. Thank you very much. I'll have some other authors on there. Hopefully this week's episode will be myself and my co-author Miriam Nyans talking about books that were made into movies that didn't turn out so well. Unfortunately, though, Miriam has had a family issue, so I'm not sure if that's going to air this week or if I'm going to do something else. So that's still kind of up in the air. But things like that, talking about how to write a villain, what goes into writing a villain. We'll do one on writing scripts. Writing characters, I will have some other authors on there, including Lee Hall, who is a friend of mine on Twitter, who has managed to crack the code for promoting his stuff and really getting book sales out there using social media. So he's going to be a fun person to talk to. As Dirk has pointed out, and Dirk is right. We, Kat and I and Walt and probably Shawn, we've all heard people complaining, they want writing advice and they can't find anything that's down to earth and easy to work with, and that's what I'm trying to put out there for people. And just so in case some of you don't know me well enough or don't know my background, I actually hold a master's degree in English and creative writing. I have done my dues as a copywriter for, what is it, Kat, 15 years now? I have won awards for my writing, so I am the real deal, and I am trying to, help and mentor other authors and other writers. So if you get a chance, come on over, check out the book crew. Like I said, it is on the Task Force Geek YouTube channel, and I will be popping up a podcast hopefully every Friday. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. So come on over, check out what I've got going on. And if you have any questions about writing, if you have any topics that you would love to see, again, hit us up here on Task Force Geek. Let us know, and we'll see if we can cover it for you and get you the advice that you need to move forward with your writing career. So there, shameless plug for the book crew.
Yay.
Now let's get into a really controversial conversation about Rob Zombie and the Munsters remake.
What is?
Oh, hey, just real quick. There is the link to the first book crew podcast. Thank you, Dirk. Appreciate you grabbing that for me real fast.
Everybody do a screen cap of that, because nobody's going to be able to remember all that gobbledygook.
Put it in the description, in the show description afterwards.
Yeah, we'll definitely add that to that. Alrighty then. Now, anyway, back to our regular scheduled program. Rob Zombie and the Munster remake. So I'm a sucker for the Munsters TV show. Always have been, always will be. I'm also a sucker for Rob Zombie movies. So I'm probably the only one here that's excited about this thing. Okay, apparently not. Apparently Steve is excited about it too. High five, Steve. High five, man. Yes. Shawn, I can tell you're chomping at the bit. Go for it, man.
Actually, I'm chomping on Red Hots.
Equally as spicy a take.
Apparently. Wow.
I don't know about this Rob Zombie Munsters thing. Just not feeling it.
Do tell.
Come on, Walt. Give it to us.
Just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. Really, just not feeling it at all. I mean, when I heard about it, I just went, okay, this is the Munsters. Oh, and Rob Zombie? All right. Click. Next article. I didn't even read it.
I'm not even sure if they have cast this yet.
I think there was. I don't know. I didn't even read it. I want to say that there was like something about some people they were thinking about or whatever. But I'm just not impressed with Rob Zombie's movies. Not. I'm sorry.
Shawn, what about you?
Well, let's see. Where shall I begin?
Well, Shell says that she will definitely give the Munsters a shot.
I love the Munsters. I grew up with the Munsters. Every afternoon they would play, especially during the summers. Whenever you're off from school, they would play in the afternoon on one of our local UHF channels, and they were always fun. I can't imagine them not being fun. Even whenever they moved into the age of color, they were still, just a blast.
They were still wonderfully campy.
Yeah, and you just, how could you go wrong? I mean, honestly, the Munsters, how could you go wrong? You'll love those goofs and what have you. I don't know how they will ever find a comparable Fred Gwynn. I mean, is that even possible?
Yeah, nobody's going to replace him.
From what I am seeing, the possibility that it would be Jeff Daniel Phillips playing Herman, which is typical Rob Zombie casting, with Sherry Moon as Lily, which
I can't believe that.
Right? Oh my god!
You are totally joking me. No, this is a troll.
No.
This is a troll. No, Sherry Moon will not be in this picture. You're kidding me.
Actually, I would love to see him actually cast Sherry Moon as the normal niece. What was her name? Marilyn, the normal niece Marilyn, just for something different.
When big fan, well, I shouldn't say a big fan, but a fan of his music. I've enjoyed White Zombie. I've enjoyed Rob Zombie's music. I dig it. I dig his stuff. He produced and directed, I believe, all of his own music videos.
Yes,
rock and roll.
Yeah,
a great style. He has a very great style that lasts 3.5 minutes. Whenever you start putting that style into an 1.5, 2-hour movie, not so much for me. I went to when his first movie, House of a Thousand Corpses, came out. I was really excited about that. With knowing his background in music and music videos and whatnot, I was really excited about that. What is he going to bring to the table? What are we going to see? God, this is going to be fantastic. And by the time that movie, in fact, there's one scene, if you haven't seen House of a Thousand Corpses,
for shame.
especially after 20, 30. How long has it been? 20 years? 20 years?
About 20 something.
Yeah.
You know, give or take. If you haven't seen it by now, what the heck, man? You got to at least see it. You know, don't make me suffer alone. But
Zing.
there's one particular scene that elicited so much laughter in the theater, so much cheer, so much praise in the theater, because the scene was finally over. And it was because the sequence was our villain. One of our villains had a gun to a person's head. A deputy, a law enforcement officer on his knees.
Oh, I know exactly what scene you're talking about. Yep.
Played by Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins, who shows up in the oddest things.
And the camera pulls back ever so slowly and continues to pull back and continues to pull back. I'm checking my watch thinking something's wrong. There's no sound. There's no... Is this correct? Should somebody be talking? What's going on? This is very strange. And after, I believe, I know I'm over exaggerating here, but after about 5 minutes of this slow, steady.
No, I don't think you're over exaggerating. I think it was about 5 minutes.
All right. Of just this camera slowly pulling back. Finally, bang, he shoots the character. And literally the entire crowd just, Jesus, thank you, God. Now we can move on with our life. I mean, it was just, what are you trying to say, man? Because I don't think it's coming across. This movie is annoying to me. And I love anything really bad and gory. So the story that he told, I did not care for. I did not care for. It was almost like he was wanting us to relate to the villain, and I'm not that cynical of a person to relate to the villain or to empathize with the villain or to say, yeah, that villain's right. He needs to sit there with a gun to a cop's head for 5 minutes. I mean, it was stupid. It was stupid to me. It was stupid. And then come the Devil's Rejects, and I'm thinking to myself, I'll give him another chance. I will give him another chance. No, that was no. No. That one was worse, in my opinion, because even though you're supposed to root for the bad guy, I think nobody in this movie is an innocent. Everybody is deplorable. Kill the entire cast of this movie, and I think they did. I believe they killed there might have been one or two cops that survived at the roadblock, but everybody from beginning to end, everybody died. And I just can't get into that movie. There's nothing for me to get from that. Whenever I heard that he was doing Halloween, one of my all-time favorite horror films, and I'm like, okay. Daniel Harris is going to be in this. Okay. Really? All right. And then I saw the movie and I was like, no.
Yeah. Halloween.
No.
Yep.
No.
And then there was a sequel.
And then I went to the sequel. Now, let me tell you about the sequel. I'm sitting in the theater. I don't know how far into the movie I was, but I'm there with my friends as we venture to the movie theater every Friday. And I sat there and I waited, just waiting for any one of my group to get up and leave. I've only walked out of 2 movies in my entire life. I was going to walk out of that film. If any of my friends got up to leave, I was out. I was out of there. I thought that was one of the worst films I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that Rob Zombie, who I personally do not think can write a good story, filled that movie with, I believe it was a record breaker. It was like over 100 and some odd different F-bombs in the entire script. Now, in an hour and a half movie, or however long it was, that's a lot of F-bombs for no reason. It didn't it didn't move the story at all. All I can say is this character sucks. This character sucks. I like this character. Oh, well, he's got a hatchet in the head. Okay. This character sucks. This character sucks. And in all of these movies, Little Miss Moon is prominent. I'm just like, I dig that you're dating her and then you married her, but you gotta cast other people, man. She don't need to be in every movie.
Anybody who knows me knows I love Rob Zombie movies. I hated Halloween, and the one thing I'm with you. He needs to find a different leading lady.
Nothing against her. I dig her. I think she's a good actress. I think she needs to work with other directors.
Yes.
I think he needs to work with other actresses. Now, with all of that being said,
yeah,
and he needs to not write a damn script. He's got a great visual style, I will say, because we're talking about the Munsters. I completely off on it. He's got a great visual style. He just doesn't know how to tell a story that he creates. It's all in his head. He can see it all. He's living everything. He's living all the characters. All of it is there in his head. Problem is he can't get it out on film. He cannot relay that to the audience. I don't believe, because what I've seen has been trash so far.
I think he's a better songwriter than movie writer and movie producer.
And that's great. I fully
he gets the story in his songs.
And that's cool. Again, he can tell a 3.5 minute story, but you give him 2 hours, we're done in that 3.5 minutes. I don't need the rest of this shit. This is terrible.
Yeah.
You know, and there was a lot of gore for gore's sake, and it's like, no. Even poorly written slashers do not just, I think I will just make this man's head explode. Why? Because his head was there.
Because I can. Because
it looks cool.
That doesn't. No, that's not how this works. You know, and again, I've never met Rob Zombie. I've never spoken to him. He's never been over to the house for barbecue. I don't know anything about this man. He might be an absolutely fantastic human being, and to be honest, I would love to sit down and have a beer with him. But his movies do not impress me. I have yet to see one of his movies that impresses me. And
I will say he has to be a cool guy. I mean, he did go straight to get advice on how to do Brick House properly when he did that cover.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now I remember,
and he's defended Baby Metal, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, he has.
He defended he did defend Baby Metal. This is true.
Steve's
he's actually the reason why I listen to Baby Metal.
Yeah.
He's the reason I own Audition on Blu-ray.
I'm still working on getting into Baby Metal.
I totally dig Baby Metal.
Yeah,
I totally dig Baby Metal.
Listen to. All right, I'll send a song to you. Kingslayer, which is a Bring Me the Horizon song.
That song I like.
Awesome.
I love that song. That song is actually in the Beyond the Steps of Stone playlist.
I dig the whole style.
Karate made me a fan. I loved that song.
See, I like the whole melding of the styles of, you know, their style of singing with the music. I mean, it's like me and Steve listening to Gangsta Grass all the time.
Oh my God, you and the Gangsta Grass. Oh my Lord, I did not know this was a thing until I met Walt.
Hey, they were on America's Got Talent this season.
Oh, were they really? Oh, that's cool. So let's switch directors. What if, as Dirk posits, what if Taika Waititi directed the Munsters?
Now,
I could see
Taika
that.
would have a better handle on it, and I
Yeah.
say that because he has a better handle on comedy. I'm deathly afraid that Rob Zombie, because this is his MO, will root the Munsters in some sort of white trash trailer park. And I'm sorry.
Oh God, I hope not. No.
I had read an article years ago about whenever he got the green light to do a Blob remake, and he wanted to do it without a large gelatinous blob.
How can you do the Blob without a large gelatinous blob? That kind of
Right?
ruins the entire concept. Seriously.
You should have seen my blood pressure when I read the article. I was about to come unflipping glued. But I digress.
No, digress. It's fine. It's okay.
He's not doing the Blob remake.
He's not doing the Blob. Yeah, I read that same article. How can you do the Blob without the Blob?
We've been saved.
There's something about there were these obelisks that would infect people, turning people into blobule kind of animated things that would
not the Blob.
hunt down. No,
that's not
the Blob.
That's not the Blob.
That's not the Blob.
Something.
Name it something else.
Right.
I've said that. I said that 1,000 times. You can make Battlestar Galactica however you want to make it. Just don't call it Battlestar Galactica.
Thank you.
Do whatever you want. Just don't piss on my parade.
Steve, I lost that comment anyway. Steve made the comment that Baby Metal is awesome.
Yes.
So I don't know if I would call Dragula an American literary classic, but okay.
So I will say, having been to, because full disclosure, I live next door to Universal Studios, Florida. So I'm gonna gush for a second. But having walked a scare zone that was based around Rob Zombie, I don't know, Dracula's kind of a literary classic, man. Like they were able to pull awesome imagery out of Dracula to make a Dracula section. But that's the thing about Rob Zombie, though, is that his imagery is awesome, even with just his music. And I would say one point I would actually give it in his favor for Munsters is 31 is a departure from any of the Firefly movies and from any of his other stuff. Yes. And I actually like that one. That's actually the one Rob Zombie movie I actually really enjoyed was 31 because it was camp and gore, like in a very like Werewolf Women of the SS kind of way. Like it was really like I actually enjoyed that one. I think that could work in the Munsters' favor, but hard sell.
I'm going to totally disagree. I thought 31 was trash.
I liked it.
That's you know, I'm not.
It also doesn't have a story. It has a vague string of events that all occur, and I would agree with that.
Again, you've got this group of white trash who have nothing redeeming, and they're supposed to be our heroes. We're supposed to follow them. I can't relate to that. I'm not that person. Give me somebody I can relate to, somebody who I don't know is normal, and then put them in a dire situation. Whenever Midget Hitler came out, I said, "Oh, this is going to be the greatest damn movie I've ever seen." And then about 15 minutes of that, I was like, "No, this is still crap." But I dug Midget Hitler. Good
for that short moment.
For that short
moment.
I think my favorite scene in 31 is the whole opening scene with Richard Brake standing there talking to the guy and just the whole monologue with in the white face paint and everything was exceptionally creepy. But from there,
now see, he was an interesting character.
Yeah.
He was an interesting villain, as it were, or portion to this chaos of a story. But that was it. I mean, you got Malcolm McDowell in here.
Yeah.
Malcolm flipping McDowell, and you don't do anything with him?
Yeah, he's such a minor
Really?
character. Yeah.
And that whole subplot is not fleshed out in a way that makes for a satisfying conclusion.
That
So,
subplot would have made an interesting movie in and of itself.
Yes.
What was going on with the subplot? What were these three people really about? How did they get to this point? You know, I could go on it.
It's almost like he had this massive story and he picked like the driest part of it.
Squirrel.
Because it had a midget Hitler.
Squirrel.
This is going to be gorgeous on film. I'm going to have a midget Hitler. And everybody's going to love this flick.
Dracula's the bane of Grandpa Munster's car. Yep, there you go. Yeah. Yes.
Now, if they're not playing Dracula at some point in his movie, I'm going to be exceptionally disappointed.
Yeah, that's an opportunity completely lost if he's not doing Dracula in that movie.
Yeah,
that's
a good vehicle for that movie.
I want the Agatha All Along-esque Munsters version of Dracula. That's what I want out of that. If you're going to give me anything, I want some Rob Zombie tunes set in that style as the Munsters.
If the little kid is not wearing a white zombie t-shirt, I'm going to be disappointed.
Eddie Munster.
There's just so many opportunities, you know, where he could take this and do something fun and campy with it instead of
if we don't Rob see Zombie Flash at some point in this movie, I'm going to be disappointed.
You're talking about Flash the Dragon?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like his name next episode should be Shawn. I'm going to be disappointed, Wilson.
There you go, Shawn.
If you know there's going to be Rob Zombie Munsters talk, just like throw that out there to start with.
After the movie comes out, we'll see if my moniker does change. I'm already prepped. Mentally, I'm prepped. I'm already.
He's ready. He's ready for disaster.
Right. And will I see this movie? Sure. Of course I will. I mean, I hate every movie that Paul W.S. Anderson has ever made. Yet, strangely enough, I have every film on my DVD set.
Yeah, it's weird how you end up with the entire Resident Evil series, even though you're like, I stopped liking it after like 2.
Oh, no. I stopped watching it after 4, and I still have them.
Hey, I have them all too.
I've seen them all.
I have them all too.
The last one I watched for England, so.
But as I've stated before in earlier episodes, when I watch them now, I just watch them with the comments, with the director comments. Specifically, the first one. The first one with the comments is great. It's a great comedy when you watch it with the comments.
The thing for me is Paul, much like Rob Zombie, has a great eye. He has a visual style that is fantastic. And as an illustrator, I can pull so much inspiration from what he is showing you visually. And that's about where it stops. That's pretty much that's the end. You know,
I feel like you just described The Green Knight for me, because that's what happened when we went and watched The Green Knight.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, and everybody that I've spoken to about it, they're like, "Yeah, Green Knight. Yeah, don't do that."
Yeah, visually, it's glorious. However, there is nothing that makes you care about anybody in that movie. It's like just one series. It feels like what happens when you just tell people what happened in a story instead of letting them read it. They're like, "So remember how I told you about this book? Let me spoil the whole thing for you." It's kind of what it feels like.
Well, I mean, honestly, whenever I saw the first trailer for The Green Knight, I said, "This is an art house film. This is going to be slow.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
This is going to be boring. Visually, it's going to be fantastic, but I'm going to hate this movie."
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Green Knight supposed to be some sort of Arthurian legend?
Yes,
that's what I thought. Yeah, no,
it's supposed to be a telling of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and it is to an extent, without going into too much spoilerific detail. It just it's very pretty. It's very pretty.
I've been to one of those movies.
He tries very hard. And he's very good in it, but like the character is not likable. They do not, and like, yeah, it's pretty, but again, it's like I didn't think you could actually adapt someone reading Sir Gawain and the Green Knight like into a 2-hour film that felt like you would just listen to someone read you Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Like it It's dry. Add water before watching.
Wow.
I like that.
I have an issue with any sort of movie or TV show that tries to redo the Arthurian legends. And I'm just thinking I'm going to skip that one.
Skip that one, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm
I
going to skip
assume whenever it comes to Netflix, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm with you,
same here.
Shawn. We can talk about it then.
Same
They,
here.
they take some very bold choices, but especially on the visual side of things. But yeah, ultimately, I felt like it was. You don't need to see it in the theaters if you haven't already seen it.
I like Dev Patel, but to me, it just seems a very odd casting.
I think he should be Aladdin.
It's very like
Yeah.
color
not
conscious
Aladdin, Simba.
casting. Like they wanted someone to look different. It's kind of important for the character, but not enough to. They don't do enough with it for it to matter that he is not a white knight. I guess is the best way to put it.
How can we find somebody that looks nothing like this Scottish old King Arthur? I got an idea. Let's cast in somebody from India. Fantastic.
Which
It
I mean,
works so well.
I love historical drama, and I love anything where they're like, yeah, forget that. Like I know that technically these guys were all white. Whatever, I'm casting whatever I want.
Well, Hamilton.
that,
Hamilton's
but I
a
also
perfect
like
example of that.
Yeah, but I also like if you like either don't talk about it at all and carry that through a lot of the film, or talk about it if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And they kind of did the thing if they did a little bit and they didn't quite carry it past Gawain and his immediate family, his mother. That's it. That's like the
Walt, what are you thinking up there?
I'm absorbing all this. Plus, I was also, was talking about, or thinking about how, we were talking about introducing a character and then that's interesting, and then just leaving and then not mentioning that character ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Angelina Jolie's last movie that she did where she was the
firefighter?
The firefighter.
Oh yeah.
Yes. What's his name? Who does?
John Bernthal.
No, not John Bernthal.
Oh.
He's prominent in the movie.
Oh, is
but,
he? Okay.
Well,
but the villain, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is the villain in this movie, and he's only in the movie for about 5 minutes near the beginning, and you never see him again.
How does this work without the villain?
Right, like the whole
fire's the villain.
The whole thing is premised around the whole thing is premised around Tyler Perry's character trying to kill the kid.
Okay, but I want to see Tyler Perry trying
from
to do this.
Yeah,
I want to see him go light the fires. I don't want to see him 5 minutes in the movie and then nothing. I mean, this is a man who has a phenomenal acting career and resume. Come on, this guy as a villain? Yeah, I want to see him be the villain. This
is not very much of a spoiler, but he drives in, tells his two assassins what to do, and then drives away.
God, that's an expensive cameo.
That's a very expensive, worthless cameo.
I just had an epiphany.
That's what I saw light up the sky over here. What's up?
John Lithgow as Herman Munster.
Oh my God.
I could see that.
I'd watch it.
I could see that. Yeah,
awesome.
I'm there.
Yes.
I'm there for that.
All right, so who's
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But
it's not going to happen.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Right.
Right. I like Steve's comment here about I'm your boogeyman.
That was that was good too.
It's a great tune. I love that version of it better than the Casey and the Sunshine Band version of it. And yeah, it would work great for the Munsters.
Doesn't he actually drive the Munsters car in that video?
I don't remember.
I remember one of his videos. He's in a car, and I could have swore it was the Munsters car.
Unless it's Dragula. Dragula might be the one where he's in that car.
I might be thinking of Dragula.
Yeah, it's probably Dragula. Now it would be kind of cool if the Munsters movie is chock full of all of Rob Zombie's covers.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, he almost has the entire soundtrack already. He doesn't have to do
Yeah.
anything else.
It would be great if it has. Now, if it's a bad movie, but all those songs are in there, I'll go see it.
I mean, Living Dead Girl is perfect for Lily.
Yeah, I'll go see it. Just so I can be in there for a 90-minute
alarm
movie.
goes off, that's the sound that comes out of the alarm.
Yeah.
Living Dead Girl.
Yeah, I'll go see it if it just has, the repertoire of Rob Zombie songs in there. I'll go see it.
Just be sure that it doesn't only have it in the trailer. I feel like that's the biggest
that's the
frustration I
biggest
have with trailers now are the awesome music and trailers that don't fall through. Like, I'm terrified that the music in Dune will not sound as awesome as that really cool second full trailer music was. I was like, I want all of that, like, Rise style vocalization.
Supposedly, he is doing a second soundtrack simply for all the deleted scenes that will go with the movie.
Yeah.
This is the best news you've had.
That Blu-ray is going to be amazing.
It is.
I will say the music in the Space Jam sequel in the trailers, that's the music from the movie. Unfortunately, that music soundtrack is not as good as the first movie. The movie is good. The movie is fun. I had a great time with that movie. I watched it twice. But the soundtrack is not near as good as the original soundtrack.
I can't watch it. LeBron James is in it.
I mean, you got to watch it. It's a good movie.
You have to be into basketball first.
Shawn's into basketball.
Oh, I love basketball.
Sean's into basketball.
I love basketball.
It's all the hundreds of cameos that are in this movie.
I remember you talking about it. And in fact, there's a couple of in the trailers where I'm like,
yeah. And we're not talking. I'm not talking about just cartoons. We're talking from live action movies.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There was a clip where I want to say, God, now I can't even think of who it was. It was something. I didn't even think that Warner Brothers had the rights to this person. So it was like, how the hell are they in that? You know, I don't remember. I can't remember who it was, but I remember being really kind of taken aback by that. But yeah, it shows up on Netflix. I'm sure I'll flip through it.
This is making me want to talk about Free Guy, and I don't think this is the right forum to talk about Free Guy. But
yes, it is. This is the right forum to talk about.
I want to see that movie.
I don't know how many people have seen Free Guy yet, but there's a cameo in Free Guy that is just.
I heard that there was a big major cameo in that movie, and
there are many major cameos.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's one in particular that just chef's kiss. But I'm like I said, I'm not saying anything, but it definitely had one of those moments.
Kat, close your eyes. You can't read this.
No, that's a true statement.
Yeah, that's There's
not enough Bruce Boxleitner. That's a true statement. You cannot make a movie about Tron and then not have Tron in it. I am looking right at you, Disney. You know what you did.
Well, there was supposed to be
was not make the sequel.
There was supposed to be a third sequel.
Yeah.
And then they decided, we got Star Wars now. We don't need Tron.
Yeah.
Well,
also the two guys who wrote that went on to do Once Upon a Time, which is.
Yeah.
I was that out loud. I'm not a fan of Once Upon a Time for other reasons.
Disney's Tron animated show was pretty good too.
Yes. Yeah, I liked it.
It was, but I would still love to see the third movie.
Yeah.
I know at one point Bruce Boxleitner was trying to get it off the ground, but after about a year or so, he finally said, "Nope, screw this. I'm done with you."
Yep.
Yeah, I think he said at a con 2 years ago that he said, "I've given up Tron." Yeah. He said, "I've just come to the conclusion that I will not be Tron again." And I'm like,
which is really a big lost opportunity on Disney's part because it was such a cult classic to begin with.
They're building a roller coaster at Disney World, Florida, right now. That is a Tron roller coaster.
Oh,
they have a Disney. I think Shanghai Disney.
Shanghai Disney already
now
has
they're doing it, but they don't have anything with the intellectual property that they're doing for the rest of Disney. I'm like, you're building a light cycle coaster and you're not doing a movie.
You're not doing anything.
Okay, but with that being said,
I'm willing to bet something's on the horizon.
That's my hope.
You might be right. Yeah,
it might be a Disney Plus show, but
I'd take it.
And remember, Disney has claimed that they want to do 100 new shows a year on Disney Plus. So
there's
spoiler alert's going to be busy.
There's no way. Honestly, there's no way they're going to spend that kind of money on an amusement park ride if they're not going to invest that kind of money elsewhere to promote it.
By the way,
where they put
has
it,
anybody, speaking of Disney Plus, has anybody watched the new Turner and Hooch series on there yet?
No, but I want to. It's on my list.
I want to as well.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun, and I do really like Josh Peck.
I will watch it, and we can tear it apart, Walt.
Yeah.
Dirk, do you hear that? We need to watch Turner and Hooch.
I don't remember how many episodes are already into it on it.
If Tom Hanks isn't playing like the police chief, I don't want any.
Well, Tom Hanks has to be in it somehow.
From what I gathered, Tom Hanks is either the main character's grandfather or dad or uncle or something like that.
I have a real hard time thinking of Tom Hanks as a grandfather to anything.
Well, he sends the dog to this relative, and the note says he's just like Hooch. He can't take care of him anymore. Something's happened to him. He can't take care of him. So he sends the dog to his nephew or grandson or whatever, who's also a detective. So
it's like the last season in the original movie.
Yeah. Speaking of dogs, my dog is calling to me, so I'm going to step away for a moment. She needs to go outside, and she's going to be very disappointed when she steps outside and sees that it's raining, and she's going to look at me like, "You want me to go out there?" I'm like, "No, you begged me to go out there.
You begged me to go out there." Well, you go do your thing, Walt.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, righty. So, Shawn, what do you got going on? What kind of promotional fun stuff do you have going on?
Are we doing promotions already?
Yeah, it's
Shifting gears. Are promoting things that we've read, stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. What I don't remember what the heck we call it half the time.
On Blast.
On Blast. That's it. Yes, On Blast.
Actually, I have a stack of him because
nice.
I haven't been here in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
one of the first things I wanted to list off is I don't even know how to pronounce this. Malworth Valisi, something like that. Here's a book. It's a nice book. It is by this person here, EPHK, and it is a wonderful comic told in its original Martian dialect.
Oh, nice.
There is no English in here. None.
So all visual, all the time.
All dialogue is in its original Martian.
That's actually really kind of neat.
That's a great concept.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic book. Granted, reading it was a chore, but the book in and of itself, the illustrations are fantastic. The illustrator, I actually for the first time started following an illustrator on Patreon because of this book. The guy is amazing. And this recently came out from Image Comics. So if you're interested, check it out at your local comic book store, or if you're into digital, Comixology has it. Also, recently
Steve wants to know, is Martian available on Google Translate Babel?
I don't know.
Might have to look into that.
That's when you find out you could have been reading it the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
And Dirk, in my defense, I'm lucky I remember my name right now. So
another book I picked up is Dragonero.
Ooh, that looks interesting.
Absolutely wonderful. I actually follow the illustrator online without knowing that I followed the illustrator online. Beautiful illustrations. It's all black and white. As you can see, I haven't quite finished it, but I'm getting close. This is released by Dark Horse. So again, go to your comic book shop and see if you can pick this up. Wonderful book so far. Next, I'm a huge Conan fan. I don't, where most of my friends read all kinds of superhero stuff, I never did. I collected a lot of superhero stuff, some X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, as every kid did. But I never really read or got into superheroes. For me, my dad introduced me to the world of fantasy and science fiction. So, of course, one of the first things that I collected was Conan, Savage Sword of Conan.
There you go.
That was my original comic book. So I became a huge Conan fan. And recently, I picked up the Sumerian Volume 1, produced by Ablaze. This book I picked up off of Amazon, I believe, $25 hardcover. The illustrations in this are phenomenal. I got to make sure I'm not coming up on anything naked. The illustrations in this are absolutely gorgeous. The artwork here is just amazing. There's two different artists, there's two different stories, and they are original Robert E. Howard stories. The first story is Queen of the Black Coast, and the second story is Red Nails. And at the end of each story illustration, I don't know if you can see there, they've published the actual Robert E. Howard story.
Oh, nice. I like that.
After the comic first.
Yeah, neat.
So you can actually read Robert E. Howard's story. Anyway, wonderful book. Pick it up if you can. There are 3 volumes. I believe the second volume is out, and the third volume is up for pre-order. Okay, the last thing, as we've seen in episodes previously, I'm a huge supporter of Kickstarter. And one of the things that I supported is a company called Masters of Anatomy. They have several books for illustrators to help you with illustration, with anatomy, with
I saw you posting some of that stuff on the website. Yeah, it's really kind of neat.
And I got the mother of all books, which is
very nice.
It is a collection, as you can see, very thick. It is a collection of anatomy poses, basically. Again, let me flip through here so I don't show anybody some naughty bits. Nobody's wearing clothes in this, just to forewarn you, but nothing is sexual. It's all just mannequin poses, multiple action poses from varying vanishing points and what have you. And there's a collection of men, and there's sections that are just completely women poses.
Oh, wow.
If you are a up and coming illustrator, you just need some help or some reference with your poses, definitely go to Masters of Anatomy and check out this big honking book. They have, I believe, 7 different volumes, ranging from action poses to character design to other reference material. By all means, check them out. It will help you. I believe it will help you. Definitely give them a try. That's all I'm going to display for now.
Alrighty, Walt, what you got?
Oh, let's see. What have I consumed over the week since I was last here? Well, it's been a while. Let's see. I watched last week, the first 3 episodes of Titans season 3 dropped.
Yep.
And that was pretty good. That 3rd episode is really outrageous.
Don't say anything yet, because I've watched the first 2. I have not watched the 3rd one yet. So.
I will just say that be prepared.
Okay.
Let's see. Another thing, I'm going to try and bring it up here on the screen here, the movie poster. I watched, I'd seen this movie in the store for a while, and I never picked it up because it went straight to DVD, but it's on Netflix now, and it's a movie called The Paper Tigers. if you would share that screen there.
There you go.
I started watching that the other day.
And I was delighted by this movie. I mean, it's a kung fu comedy, and it's these three guys here in this poster are back together to solve the mystery of the death of their kung fu master. And
it's really good.
And it was fun. I mean, there's not a lot of martial arts in it, but what's in it is good enough. There's some pretty funny moments in there, so I highly recommend it. I mean, it's a good little watch. Other than that, that's about it. You know, I got a few comics in which have been mentioned on previous. Got Doug Wood's Kickstarter. That was pretty good. I've started reading that. Supermax. Yeah. Other than that, that's about, like I said, that's it. I haven't, rare occasion that I didn't go out and buy a couple of DVDs to share. So usually every weekend I buy at least one DVD to sit and binge watch something all day, but not this week.
Alrighty. Kat, what kind of stuff have you been consuming geek-wise?
So I don't have anything like right in front of me, but recently I have been going through the Ta-Nehisi Coates run of Captain America. It's fantastic. I am dying for the last trade paperback. I'm also gutted that this is the end of his run after this last trade, but
I have it. I picked it up while I was there in Virginia this last time. I'm missing like the last 2 or 3 issues, and I want to get it all before I start reading it.
Yeah, I love the trades, especially since to kind of deal with the fact that they were coming right out of the whole Hydra takeover storyline. They actually published the first like 6, would have been 2 TPBs, one big massive hardback.
I got that one. Yeah,
really nice. So that's what I've been reading comic wise. I've recently picked up and I'm reading Fushigi Yugi all over again, which is a manga from the 90s that I'm a huge fan of. Grew up on it, and Viz released a big version of it with like an omnibus, so like 3 whole manga novels are in one big compendium. So I've been going through all of those, which is really cool. Also, I picked up the last of that author's like related tales to Fushigi Yugi, Byako Senki. But I don't know if there's going to be more of that. So I got through that and then found out that she went on hiatus. So that's kind of a bummer. So that happens. From a novel perspective, the other thing I will talk about is I have been reading The First Sister by Lyndon Lewis, and that's their debut novel. It is a space opera set in a time when Earth has colonized Mars and Earth, and then also by extension Mercury and Venus. And Mercury and Venus have become their own society, and Mars and Earth are their own society. And the story is about a sort of Bene Gesserit-esque character who is mute and is assigned to the captain of a defense ship. And her job is to essentially take confession. And it's all about the politics associated between the two different countries. And it's really compelling. I love it. There's been a lot of really diverse character design. There's a character who's just not straight up non-binary, which is really neat. There are characters who are bisexual and queer and just like all sorts of stuff. So it's been really refreshing because it doesn't feel like a lot of the other space operas or sci-fi novels I've read. And I think that's really it. That's what I've been going through most this week is The First Sister.
Is she the Hazrat cataract?
No, not exactly.
You know how to ask.
Yeah, no, I know. It's fair. It's fair ask. But no, it's a really good series. It has some elements that feel a bit like The Handmaid's Tale, while also kind of feeling like Dune. And it's just
on that one.
Really good. It's really good. It's the first of a trilogy, so if you are so inclined, pick it up, give it a read, help sell more copies of that book so that they write the other 2, because I need them like now.
You mentioned Handmaid's Tale. I'm a huge fan of that show.
Same.
Funny side note about Handmaid's Tale. I've been watching RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars season 3, and that came out right about the same time Handmaid's Tale came out. So Ru is doing like a total spoof in the
Oh my
background, which is
God.
absolutely hysterical.
funny.
It is.
Yes.
It's great. It was
Fabulous.
hysterical. So for me, I have added a new pop to my collection thanks to my daughter. I have Billy Butcher.
It's,
As
I would
told
say
her.
his favorite word, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no. That'll get us banned. We don't need that.
Does he have a wrench or something in that hand?
I think it's a crowbar.
Crowbar.
There you go.
It's a
Crowbar.
He's got a crowbar in his hand.
Okay.
There's a couple in that series. There's like 2 Homelanders. There's a Huey. But the other one that I want that's currently in the series, if we can find it, is Translucent. Because it's basically a clear pop with his uniform, and it's hysterical. So Kate is actually on the lookout for Translucent for me.
You tell her to go buy Empire Toys over on Denton Highway.
Yeah, she's actually closer than I am at this point to Empire Toys. So
they're pretty much dedicated to pops.
Yeah, I got to get over there. The other thing that I've got for this week, and it's a little less consumer and a little more shameless promotion. The game store that my husband works at and that I hang out at, Free Range Pumpkins, which is here in Arlington, has been nominated for Best in DFW. They are one of only 2 toy stores in the area that have been nominated. So, you can go out there and vote for them. Amy and my husband would love you if you did. And everything. I have watched her build the store up from nothing. COVID actually did them some good, as she was one of the only toy stores in the area that had an online presence during COVID. And she went from crying that Sunday when she had to close the store down to having over $3,000 worth of sales in less than 24 hours when she checked everything on Monday.
Nice. Jeez.
So
wow.
yeah. So if you're inclined to, go give them a vote for go support your favorite pumpkin. And everything. And really the only other thing that I've got is that this past weekend I did a major author event in Dallas. It was called Delightfully Dirty in Dallas. 60 romance authors. 60 of us. It was an absolute and utter blast. It was the best author event that I have done since I started publishing my books. I actually left with money in my pocket as well as a stack of books from other authors.
Well, you clearly didn't do it right then.
Yeah, I know, right? I could have bought 4 more books by the time I was done. I mean, but the networking opportunities were fantastic, and I managed to get an invite to the Love and Devotion author event in San Diego, February of 2022. It's Love and Devotion is another one of the really big events, and it's by invitation only. I made friends with a couple of the authors this weekend who were able to secure me an invite. So the table is not that expensive. It's coming up with the flight and the hotel room for 2 nights that I've got until February to do. But so that's what I've got going on. I might be doing another one in San Antonio. It's Authors at the Alamo. We'll see if I can do that one. It is all going to depend on whether or not my grandson decides to show up, because it's the week after Caitlin is due to have him. So,
oh joy.
Yeah, the doctor already told her that they're not going to let her go past 41 weeks, and 41 weeks would be the same weekend as the San Antonio show. So I'm kind of like, do I or don't I? So I may wind up skipping that one this year and trying to get in next year. We'll see. But that's all I've got. So yeah. So Shawn, let's tell everybody where they can find you and what you got.
Well, as always, you can find me on rankingstudios.com. That's rankingstudios.com. rankingstudios.com. You can also find me at Facebook /Ranking Studios. Please feel free to stop by, check us out. I share the space with 3 other numbskulls that make up the studio. All of us have portfolios.
Do we know there's 3 other? Do we know there's 3 other numbskulls?
No, I don't think you've ever met them.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Now, of course, you have. There's Scott and Robert, who have all been on the show previously. Stop by, check us out. Leave us a message. I read everything that comes through. No, I read everything, even the bot stuff. I read it all. Feel free to stop by, tell us what you think. Give us some encouragement, give us some money.
Money's a good thing. Yes, money's a good thing.
I know that Dirk and I both have commission pages up for your perusal. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you illustratively. Yeah, there you go. Have a great day.
Alrighty, and Walt, I'll let you put yours up. You already got yours up.
Yeah, these are all the places that you can find me. I'm not going to repeat them all because it's a lot, which Steve has made several comments about. And of course, I also want to thank Beth for wearing that awesome shirt that she was wearing during her first episode of Book Crew.
You are welcome, sir.
Which, she got that shirt from me on my store website here.
I was rocking the Robo Girls.
She was rocking the Robo Girls, which I'm making a full collection of those things, and we'll get to them here. And there you go.
Robo Girls.
So be sure to, stop by any one of my links. Like Shawn, I'm also an artist. I'm available to do sketches and paintings. And in fact, speaking of paintings, I'm going to, I just happen to have one here that's being prepped for delivery to.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that came out beautiful.
This is a watercolor that I did.
Yes.
Pet portrait of a horse, Bella.
We lost Kat for a minute there, so I was letting her back in. There you go.
So there you go.
That came out gorgeous, Walt. That really did come out beautiful.
Thank you very much. Okay. So So best way to get in contact with me is through my Facebook page, the one that's up there at the top there. I don't have any prices or anything listed, but send me a IM through there and we can discuss.
I got a lot of comments on that T-shirt.
Good, thank you. Did you
send
them my way?
Yes, I did. I promoted that big time, and I big time promo. And as Dirk pointed out, that beautiful piece Walt just showed everybody, that was a watercolor.
Yeah, a lot of people avoid watercolor.
I avoid watercolor.
Watercolor and oils. Watercolor seems to be my thing.
Strangely, watercolor is one of my favorite mediums, but I hate it.
you enjoy looking at watercolor portraits and paintings, but you do not enjoy trying to work with it. I get it.
It hurts. It hurts so bad. So bad.
I get it. I totally get it.
The end result, absolutely fantastic. But getting to that end result,
yeah.
All right, and Kat.
Yes. Hello. Sorry, my internet dropped out and it's back. But you can find me on my Twitter at Genesis Avalon. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And of course, you can always check out what we're doing at www.pendantaudio.com. So even if I don't necessarily answer, the lovely folks at Pendant are always around. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter.
All righty then. And then, of course, there's my laundry list of things. So you can find me at bethannfreely.com on my website for my author stuff. You can also find me on the musesfunhouse.com if you need a website developed, or if you are looking for somebody to edit your novels. I might even edit your doctoral thesis if you pay me enough. But if you need editing services or website services, hit me up at the musesfunhouse.com. Or again, if you're looking for my novels, you can find them on bethannfreely.com. I'm also on Amazon. You can find me at BA Freely on Twitter and Instagram. And if you should happen to pick up one of my books and read it, please leave me a review. You'll also find me every Friday with a new podcast for Book Crew, talking about writing and editing and all the stuff that goes with it. And I would love, I'd love to hear your comments, and I would love to hear your topics. I mean, if you want something, or you need if you need something covered, let me know. I would be more than happy to go ahead and jump in and see how I can help you. Kat.
Yes.
Steve definitely wants you to send that Star Trek fanfic. So, Steve, I will pry the archive of her own information out of her and have Dirk add it to the show notes.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, it's really not that hard to find me, but I will send that along afterwards. Absolutely. If someone wants to read it, go for it.
Steve better at least be following you on Twitter by now.
Right? No joke. He better be.
Easiest way to find me. Seriously.
So that's all for tonight, guys. We thank you for joining us and chiming in with your comments and everything else. Kat, thanks for popping in and telling us about what you got going on with Pendant Audio, and we will talk again on Book Crew. Thursday, Walt and I and Dirk will be going ahead and covering the next episode of What If at 3:00. So don't be late. Come and see us. You can catch Shawn next Tuesday, I'm sure, on TFG. Of course, if you want to jump into into spoiler alert with us, come on, man, we'll take you. We love controversy.
If I wasn't at work.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I take my lunch hour at 3 to do it on Thursday. So, but
yeah. Speaking of, I just had to tell somebody, when are you available for interviews? I'm like, Monday through Wednesday and Friday.
Yep, pretty much.
There's no Thursday.
There's no Thursdays. But that's all we've got for tonight, everybody. This is Beth Freely, Dirk Stuntman, signing off. Take care, and we will see you next week. I'm looking for the end credits.
Where the outro is.